Have you ever wondered, how do I deal with my emotions? How is it that negative emotions can be so small, but yet at the same time have the power to run your life and affect every decision you make? But what if they didn't have to? What if you actually had the power in and of yourself to control your emotions? Well, in today's conversation, we talk about why we feel what we feel and how we can process our emotions in such a way that we can live a better life because of them. Let's dive in. What's up, Revive family? I'm pumped about tonight because tonight we get to talk about I'm sorry, that was kind of awkward. Okay, take two, not even a minute in. Hello. What's up, Revive family? I'm pumped about tonight because tonight we get to talk about a topic that is very near and dear to my heart. Tonight we're talking about emotions. Emotions. That's right, we're talking about your feelings. So if you want to title tonight's conversation, you can title it In My Feelings. I mean, let's be honest. We all have that friend that wears their emotions on their sleeves everywhere they go. Am I right? And I'll go ahead and say with absolutely no shame, yeah, that person is me. Like, you can ask my wife, she jokes with me all the time. She says that I telegraph my feelings to the world all because of the look on my face. Huh? And like, I can't deny the fact. Like my logic is simple. If I'm feeling some type of way, I want you to know about it. So you can then comfort me, see what's wrong, and come to my aid. That's absolutely horrible. But let's be honest, there are some of you out there who are probably cringing already because even the thought of you talking about your feelings just freaks you out. See, no matter how you feel or think about emotions, I think we can all agree that our emotions and our feelings are complicated. Like, it's so crazy that something you can't even see has the power to completely rule your life. Like, think about it. No one tells us what they are or how they work, and yet somehow we're supposed to just know how to deal with them. Like, know what to do when I'm angry. Like, know what to do when I'm depressed. Like what do we do with our emotions? And I think honestly, we all handle our emotions differently. You know, I've learned that when it comes to dealing with our emotions, we typically choose one of these two options. See, on one side, some of us, we just shut down, right? Like, as soon as you start to feel something uncomfortable or something that you don't like, you simply try to numb yourself, maybe through drugs, alcohol, relationships, binge watching The Office, scrolling through social media, making TikToks, whatever it is. The method behind your madness is you just want to numb your feelings. So you fill your schedule, you're constantly hanging out with people because you're afraid that if you're still for long enough or for even a second, your feelings are gonna catch up with you. And when they do, you don't know what is bound to happen. Maybe you've gone through something hard and so emotionally heavy that now you don't wanna feel anything. Yeah, the painful emotions aren't getting in, but neither are the ones that make you feel alive. The joy, the peace, the love. And see, this is what I call the stuff and bluff technique. You stuff down your emotions and then you just pretend and bluff to the whole world that you're okay. Or on the other side, instead of shutting down, you act out. And what I mean by that is you act on every single emotion that you feel. Whatever you feel, you do. If you feel hurt about something that somebody said, you go and you talk crap about them behind their back. If you're angry, you start looking for any excuse to pick a fight, or you just punch a wall if there's nobody there to fight with. If you're feeling lonely or unseen, you start exaggerating things or making up stories to get attention. If you think it will make you feel good, what do? You do it. You will try anything just to act on your emotions. You see, guys, I think we can agree that both sides, they're rather unhealthy and are only going to lead us to feeling worse and worse and worse. But I mean, what in the world do we do with the emotions that we had? You know, I heard it put this way one time. Emotions, they're like toddlers. You can't let them drive, but you can't throw them in the trunk either. So if it's not good that we spew our emotions on everybody else and we can't just shut them down, man, how do we deal with our emotions? Well, what we have to do is we have to engage in a process of processing our emotions. We can't stuff down our emotions and we can't act on every single emotion that we feel either. So we have to process them. And to process them, we need to first recognize where our emotions come from to begin with. You guys need to understand that our emotions, they come from God. Like, when He created you and I, He specifically designed you to have emotions. Not to overwhelm you or freak you out or make you afraid or jack up your life, but He gave them to us so that we could actually have a rich and full life. You know how I know? Look at Jesus, bro. Bars. Look at God's Son. He was fully God and fully man. Perfect and without sin, yet full of emotions. He was ecstatic when somebody had faith. He was enraged when people abused God's house. He wept with friends who were grieving. He was disgusted with the religious hypocrites. He had compassion on those who were suffering, and He loved us to the point of laying down His life. Jesus' life was filled with emotions. The cool thing is that Jesus, He knew how to handle His emotions because he knew how to process them, even the painful ones. Just look at the night before Jesus died. Jesus, he's with his friends in a garden praying, and he's under extreme stress to the point of literally sweating blood. The dude is sweating drops of blood, bro. Like, that's the depth of the emotion that Jesus was feeling in that moment. But he doesn't choose to take it out on others or shut down. Watch what he does instead. He tells God everything he's feeling. He's open, he's real, he's authentic, and he's begging God, if there's any other way to get out of this, let it be. Jesus is begging God to let this thing pass. He's processing what he's feeling and why, but then he aligns his feelings. He processes them with God's truth, and he says, you know what? Yet not my will, but yours be done. And because of this, I want you guys to know that when it comes to our feelings and how to deal with them, we have to remember that Jesus is the safest place to process our emotions. Jesus Christ is the safest place to process our emotions. But before we get into that, what does it mean to process our emotions? Like, I don't even know what I'm feeling half the time, so how do I process what I don't even know I'm feeling? Like, what does that look like? Well, to put it simply, it looks like this. Whatever you're doing and however you're feeling, you simply pause. And you ask yourself and God 3 different questions. Man, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? What am I going to do about it? Maybe for you, processing looks like running while talking to God in your head. Maybe for you, it's writing down in a journal to God every single thing that you're feeling. For me recently, it's just been cleaning the house. I know that sounds weird. Or taking a shower. Like, I'm serious. Like, sometimes I'm able to process with God in my head. But what I've noticed recently is a lot of times I have to speak it out loud. I'll be sitting on the couch, cutting the grass, or even be at work, and I'll physically be forced to just stop and be like, God, I feel like an idiot right now. Like, God, I feel so stupid right now. Like when I wrecked the church van, God, I feel like a moron. Or like when I delete all the files from a video that we've been trying to film for 4 weeks, God, I feel so much shame in this moment. I feel like an idiot. See, I love how I'm smiling when I say I feel like an idiot. I feel like an idiot. No, I feel stupid, God. But the cool thing about God is that, man, he loves me. And no feeling that I feel is too big or too small for God. He is there to help you process your emotions together. And then honestly, it looks like simply inviting God into the conversation that's already going on in your head. Talking to him about why you feel the way you feel so that he can provide his comfort and his peace. See, for those of you who know me, you know that I drive the meanest whip in Albany, Georgia, the man van. And so what I love about the man van is that it gets me from point A to point B, and that's about it, fam. That's all the man van can do. It can start, crank, and hit the brake. That's what it can do. But what you need to know about my man van is there are a couple problems with it. I like to clean it up a little bit and put the black ice in there so it seems like it's a good vehicle, but honestly, it gets me from point A to point B. But the one thing I know about my lovely car, the man van, is that there are some issues underneath the hood that need to be dealt with. But me, I ain't got time for that. But you know how I know there's something going on under the hood? It's because of all the lights that are flashing on my dashboard. Check the engine, check the oil, get a different car, bruh. Can you please check the tire pressure in the left front tire? Right front door ajar. Like, all these lights are beeping at me, but see, the light's not the problem. The problem is under the hood. The light is a thing trying to warn me of the problem. And see, our emotions, they're the same way. So many times we get mad because we're mad. We get depressed because we get depressed. Like, we're upset at the emotion, but the emotion is not the problem. It's what's underneath the hood. And see, for you, you need to be able to process your emotions so that you can actually get to the root of your problem. Like, for me, sometimes with my car, the problem's not that big a deal. Like, if my gas light's on, all I gotta do is get gas and it goes out. The problem's processed and solved. You know, same like during the day at work. If I snap at somebody at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, chances are it's just because I'm hangry, I need some energy, and I'm tired. So all I gotta do is eat a snack. But see, sometimes the emotions that we feel, they're a lot deeper than that. They're things that, quite honestly, we don't even know why they're there. It's like, for example, with me recently, man, I've just been dealing with shame. And I never really knew that was something to be dealt with, honestly, because I figured, you know, I'm an extrovert, and I like being the center of attention. Like, shame doesn't really have any place with me. But just like a warning light, it took actually processing it and getting to the root of it to see what the problem actually was. And see, for me, the reason that I deal with shame from time to time, or have been in the past, is because when I was a kid, my goal in life was I wanted to make every single person proud, especially my parents. I wanted to be the perfect kid. I wanted the perfect grades. I wanted to be the best on the football field, best in the classroom. I wanted to be the best because I thought being the best was actually what people wanted of me. And as a kid, I grew up and I challenged myself to put all these expectations on my life to the point where if I was imperfect in any way, it was an issue and it was a problem. And what I'm realizing now more and more than ever is that, man, I cannot be perfect. And if the pressure to be perfect continues to be on me, it will crush me. And so for me recently, it's been having to, every single time I feel any shame or anything, it's simply taking it to God and saying, God, I feel like this. And every single time, He's there to remind me, Justin, I've never called you to be perfect. Like His word literally says, God knows us in our humanity, and yet He still chooses to walk with us and guide us. And He is the one who is working within us to do His good pleasure and His good work. See, guys, that's what we want for every single one of you, not to stop feeling emotions, but to learn to process them. So my question for you is, what are you not dealing with? Like, let's face it, we all have things that we need to deal with. We all have negative emotions, insecurities, hurt, pain, guilt we're holding on to, pride that's taking up space in our heart, shame from our past, fear, anxiety, depression, like you name it. We're all facing something. And I'm challenging you, I am begging you to deal with them. Because the scary truth about our emotions is that if we don't deal with them now, they don't go away. Unless we ask God and others for help and invite them on the journey to process these things, our emotions, they will follow us into adulthood. So if you don't deal with these issues now, it'll only get worse. You're only postponing the problem. So invite other people on the journey to help you process your emotions. And as much as we don't want to deal with the painful things and get real, I believe at the end of the day, and you can disagree with me if you want, I think at the end of the day, what we crave most is peace. Like right here in John 14:27, Jesus says this. He says, peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid. See, what I've learned is that there's two different types of peace. There's Jesus' peace and the world's peace. See, the world's kind of peace says numb it, stuff it down, just get rid of it. The world's peace is do whatever feels good, bro. Drink this, try this, look like this, look at this, be with this person, and you'll finally be okay. But true peace comes from Jesus. Peace to know that you're loved, to know that you can tell Him anything. Peace to know that He's with you. Peace to know that you're safe. See, when you have this kind of peace, you'll see this. Situations where you should be upset, you should be angry, where you have every right to be falling apart, you're not. Because you have the peace to know that no matter what happens to you, man, you'll be okay because you're in Jesus. You guys need to get this because this is such good news. Like Jesus, He isn't just a safe place to process our emotions, but He's the strength that we need to deal with what's on the other side of our emotions. See, all we have to do is come to Him. And it says this in Matthew 11:28-29. It says this. Jesus says, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest, peace. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest or peace for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. So let me ask you this. What are you feeling? What is God showing you that He wants to help you deal with? Because Jesus is the safest place to process our emotions. And when we come to Him, not only does He help us deal with our emotions, but He gives us the peace that we need to continue on our journey when other emotions come our way. So guys, remember, we have got to engage in the process of allowing our emotions to be processed because Jesus is the safest place to process our emotions. Well, hey guys, we know that every single week we get to come and talk to you guys and have conversation with you at Cruise, but man, we want to offer you something that is actually longer and more sustainable than just a 30-minute conversation. What we want to do is we want to challenge you guys this week going along with our conversation to engage with us in a 7-day YouVersion Bible reading plan called How to Be Happy. And I know right now there's some naysayers, bro, I'm already happy. I don't need to be more happy. Bro, you need to learn how to be happy, not just in the moment, but through everything that life throws your way. Hey guys, another conversation in the books. You guys are amazing. I love you guys. You are so awesome. I know I can always count on you to show up and watch our videos. As always, we want you to like this video. We want you to subscribe. We want you to subscribe, man. We want you to subscribe, bro. Subscribe to this channel so you can get more awesome content. We're stopping this video, so it's time for you to click the next video and watch it